Hey, what is going on? First 15, and good morning, North family. Excited to start the day off with you guys, sitting outside today and enjoying some beautiful weather, and just excited to jump into prayer and jump into the truth. And today we're going to be hanging out in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 22 through 25. And we're going to go ahead and read it. And then we're just going to walk through the verses and pray through it. So here's what it says. Let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and with the full assurance that faith brings, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience and having our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another all the more as you see the day approaching. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the first verse of this and verse 22, where it says, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart, with the full assurance that faith brings, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience, and having our bodies washed with pure water. So what better verse to start our day than this, encouraging us to draw near to God with a sincere heart. And that's my hope for you in this moment today, that before you get started, you would just take the things that are inside of you, things you're stressing out about, things that are distracting you, and just lay it aside and really come to God with as much sincerity as you can. And here's what we know. We have full assurance, the writer says, that our faith, it brings us to him, and that our hearts are cleansed from the guilty conscience that would distract us and separate us from Jesus, and that we can have a relationship with him that is guilt-free, and we can be honest and open with him. And so before we start praying for other people and other situations, we just want to pray for ourselves and get our hearts aligned. So take a moment, if you need to, hit that pause button and just start unboxing and decluttering your heart right now, and just let some of those things out, and just trust that the God that was faithful enough to save you is faithful enough in this moment to put you in a space to have a relationship and a conversation with him. And when you feel like you've got there, I just invite you to pray this prayer with me. Jesus, I ask that you would draw me close to you right now. Help my heart to be sincere towards you as you examine me, and make yourself known to me. Thank you for the assurance I have in you through the faith that you have enabled me to have. And as you prepare me for today, cleanse me and cleanse my heart and my mind so I can be more like you. And then we're going to go into verse 23, where it says this: let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Now I love this, to hold unswervingly, that we have hope, and our hope is in Jesus. And we know that when we put our hope in him, that there is nothing that's going to take that hope away from God's perspective. You know, anytime we lose hope in Jesus, it's not because something happened with Jesus, it's because something happened with us. And so what a great moment right now, before this week begins, to realign your heart and remind yourself that God is faithful. He's never failed. He's never let me down. And he's going to be faithful in this moment. He is faithful even when I'm not faithful. And he is unswerving even when I am swerving. That I can't take who I am, and I can't throw that on who God is. God is so much bigger than us. God is so much more faithful than us. And so hit that pause button and just take a moment. Thank God for his faithfulness. Realign your hope in him, not in anything else but him. And when you've done that, I just want to invite you to pray this prayer with me. Jesus, I trust you and hold on to you above anyone and anything else. Thank you for your promises and your truth. In a world of uncertainty, I am certain of one thing: your love never fails. It never gives up. It never runs out on me. You are a faithful God who does what he says he will do. Then we're going to hang out in verse 24, and it says, and let us consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds. So I love the process here with the writer. He's saying, let's draw near to God with a sincere heart. Let's trust in God's ability to cleanse our consciousness and to wash us clean of our sin. Let us hold on to that hope that he has. So now we're in a good place, right? Because we are trusting in God. We've realigned ourselves that God's in control. It's all about him. And what happens, it's amazing. When you get in that moment where it's all about Jesus, it stops becoming about you. And we start to care about the things that Jesus cares about. And Jesus cares about other people. And so then the writer of Hebrews, taking us through this progression, says, hey, now that we're realigned, let us consider then how we can encourage one another. How can we encourage each other to love? How can we encourage each other to good deeds? And man, we need that now more than anything else. And listen, you hang out for a minute on social media and you just see a lot of hurt and a lot of pain just being spread. And we need to spread some love. We need to encourage each other to be better. We need to love each other the way that Jesus has called us to love each other. So I just want you to hit that pause button again and think about some of these things. Maybe the way that you're encouraging people, or maybe the way that you're not encouraging people right now. Maybe somebody specifically in your life that could be spurred on to love and good deeds a little bit deeper. Listen, every single one of us has the ability today to make an impact on somebody else's life. And so maybe even right now, maybe God is just laying somebody specifically on your heart. And so after you've thought about that and you kind of put yourself in that right mindset to be thinking about other people, I would invite you to pray this with me. In this moment, Jesus, I ask that you would direct my heart towards those in my life who need encouraged today. Use me, Jesus, as a vessel to pour out my cup into their lives, and let my words speak truth and bring joy. Today, I specifically lift up, and this is where you want to put that person that you're thinking about. I lift this person up to you. And then finally, we're going to close out this in verse 25, where the writer says, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. I think we can all agree that the new word for 2020 is social distancing. And social distancing is tough when it comes to relationships. I don't know about you, but me personally, I am a face-to-face kind of person. And it's easy because of the guidelines that we're following to be as safe as we can for the people around us. It's easy to get caught up in this sense that because we can't see each other, doesn't mean we can't have a relationship with each other. This is just a season of life right now where there are new ways that we are trying to figure out how to have relationships with people. And here's what I believe this writer would say to us even to this day. Don't give up on being the church. Don't give up on finding ways to stay connected, to encourage each other. The church is not a building. We've said that so many times. The church is a people. We are the church. And despite what's happening in this world where we can and where we can't worship, we can still be the church. We can still encourage each other. We can still find a way to stay connected. And so maybe you've been in a season where you've been struggling with this, and this would be a good moment to just remind yourself that there are different ways that we can still be the church. And maybe you've been doing that and you're getting a little tired and a little weary. And today's a great day to be reminded that you got to keep going, keep fighting for this truth. But I just want to invite you to pray this prayer with me. And maybe this can help you no matter where you're at today in this space. Jesus, I ask for your strength, understanding, and peace right now. In a world where gathering together can feel strange and sometimes unwanted, I know that your church is so much more than just four walls. Your church is in my heart and in your people. Help me today to be the church and live out your love to all around me. I believe that we can all do that. I believe that we can be the church in every area that we fill, whether that's the social media space, whether that's the socially distanced workspaces, in our homes, on the phone, or through a text message. We can be the church, we can stay connected, and we can spur each other towards love and good deeds as long as we as the body are drawing close to God with sincere hearts, not losing hope in who he is. Church, we just want to say thank you again for taking the first 15 and just hanging out with us today. It's our hope that these 15 minutes have spurred your heart and just drawn you close to Jesus. We're praying for you, and we are in this thing together, and we cannot wait to see you again. Have a great day.